Hello, happy Teach Me Tuesday. My name is Lisa. I'm an experienced NICU nurse and a NICU nurse educator here to break down another topic. It is the fourth Tuesday of July, and as a reminder, if you did not receive my newsletter, I will be on vacation next week. So while there is one more Tuesday in July, we are going to skip a Teach Me Tuesday next week because I will be traveling with my family. So this is our last Teach Me Tuesday for July. And this is a question that I've been asked throughout various social medias and here on YouTube about how can I grow in the NICU? So what I'm going to talk to you about today is things I've done, things I've seen people do. You're going to see lots of personal photos of me, but we're going to just talk about how you can advance your career. I believe the NICU is unique in this because we don't have a lot of room to grow in different specialties unless you want to change specialties, which is great. But oftentimes, if you start as a med-surg nurse, you can go to ortho, you can go to ICU, you can go to clinic, right? There's a lot of variation in what med-surg nurses can do, and NICU nurses can too. But if you want to kind of stay within the NICU, it's also a bit of our responsibility to grow ourselves, to know what our opportunities are for growth, including in-unit growth, personal growth, and I think everybody has an opportunity to do things like going to conferences, reading articles, and participating in their unit. So let's dive into the various things we can do throughout our career. So in year one, this is your time to build your foundation. I say this all the time. I have been doing some mock interviews with people switching to the NICU or starting in the NICU, and I remind them over and over again that you're going into a specialty that no one teaches you in nursing school. So you go to nursing school for 2 to 4 years, depending if you're doing your ASN, your BSN, and then you go into the NICU and you think you're gonna know it all in 16 weeks. You're not. So you need to take a year, give yourself time, get grounded, take any classes, go to any workshops offered by your unit. Get books. I've listed some of them here. Listen to podcasts, NANCast, The Incubator, all so great. There are things out there like myself, like Amanda's NICU Ed, like Nurse Kelly's Notes, where we do lots of education. Find reputable people to help teach you and help you grow if it's not offered within your unit. Find a mentor. Find someone, whether that was your preceptor or someone you bond with on your unit, that can help you grow, that can help you debrief after hard situations. If you don't have your BSN, you should be getting that right away, right? Go back, get your BSN. Set goals for yourself. Maybe your goal is that you want to listen to one podcast a week. Maybe your goal is that every month you're going to dive into a different system and read a book and kind of teach yourself, build on the foundation you've gotten and go from there. So year one is all about building your foundation. Years 2 through 5 is all about precepting and participating. So you may start precepting a student. Maybe you have someone coming in for a shadow. Maybe you're going to do someone for their senior practicum. Maybe it's going to be a new hire. If they have a precepting class, make sure you go to your precepting class, or if there's a handout that they have or PowerPoint, if you need tips on being a preceptor, I can help you with that too. Join a unit-based committee. Most units have some committees that they need nurses' voice, right? Remember, we are often the end user of changes that happen at the bedside and in our units. So get involved. Some that I've been a part of, I was a big part of a feeding team in my first unit. We did things like stopped residuals, started feeding advancement guidelines, implemented infant-driven feeding. So there's lots of things you can do on those committees. Maybe you want to do new product testing. There's also things like neurodevelopment committees. So you can also start and join small QI projects. Maybe you want to do something about thermoregulation, improving central line maintenance. There are things that you can do as a bedside nurse right away. You can also start leveling up your skills. So after 2 years, you can take your RNC. You could also become an IBCLC. I have a few friends that have done that. Here I am with my friend back when we went and did something at a conference. And yes, for those of you that are new to nursing, that's how we used to do posters. Okay, that's like an old school thing. I don't know if you've seen it before. Maybe also start to dive into something that really feels important to you. Maybe it's pharmacology. Maybe it's how can I get better at my IV skills, which we talked about last week. There are lots of opportunities. So there are tons of different courses and things that you can explore. You can also become a unit resource. I hope you love this old school picture of me right here in the corner. It is when I first it was part of my master's project, because I went back and got my master's, and I helped implement the infant-driven feeding, and so I was teaching everyone how to document it in our EHR, which was not Epic back in the day. So you can also train to become a charge nurse, resource nurse if your unit does that. You could join a team like the specialized IV team, a simulation team. We have simulation helpers in all of the places I've worked. ECMO, if they offer that at your unit. You can take leadership development courses. Most hospitals have it. Even if they're online and self-study, there are leadership courses you can take. So by year 5, this is really when you can become a leader on your unit. This is your chance to lead with purpose, to take formal mentoring classes, to recognize something new that needs to be changed or done. You could submit a poster to a national conference. That's me with my poster at a NANN conference. I did present at local conferences back in the Pacific Northwest after doing some things with feeding, doing some things with NAS. You submit an abstract. Even writing the abstract is great practice. So it's an opportunity for you to kind of take what you've been doing and spread it to others. So always should share the wealth there. You could lead some bedside education. Whenever I have been a part of education, we have had super users. So back when I started out in the Pacific Northwest, and we're rolling out these feeding changes, we had nurses who had to be our bedside champions, and they wanted to be. So this was their opportunity to get involved, and they would lead some of these education series. They would tell nurses about it, especially on the night shift if they couldn't come to the education days. So there are really amazing opportunities for things you can do there. Simulation is a big part too, especially if you're doing anything in the unit. You could become an NRP instructor. You can become a stable instructor. All of these are things that are saying, I want to do more, and I'm investing in myself while also investing back into the NICU, which is an amazing way to do this. Year 5 also, and keep going, right? We're advancing our role. So can you apply for formal roles? Are you looking to change your role? Do you want to become a clinical educator, a supervisor, a charge nurse, a charge preceptor? You've been a charge nurse, but now you're going to train other people to be charge nurses. Do you want to be a quality improvement lead on your unit? There are so many things you can do. Watch for those opportunities to apply. Whenever people ask me like, oh, am I ready for this? I say apply. Putting a resume together and doing interviews is good for you. It's going to teach you something about yourself that you didn't already know. And if you don't get the role, you then can get feedback to say like, hey, right now we are going to go with another supervisor, but here's some things you can do over the next year and apply the next time we have an opening. Then you have this path to something great you can do. Or it will give you the opportunity to maybe apply at another unit, another NICU somewhere when you've gotten some feedback. So this just opens up those doors that you don't already have. You could consider your graduate degree. I got my MSN in nursing education year 12 of my career. Could I have done it earlier? Maybe. I was in the throngs of like parenthood at that time. So just something to think about. You may do it earlier. You may do your NNP earlier, but this might be an opportunity when you have a really solid foundation under you. You've kind of seen what you want to do. Maybe you thought, hey, I was going to do NNP, but I actually love teaching, and so I want to go this direction. Personally, I always knew I didn't want to be a nurse practitioner, and so educator was a great path for me. There are MSNs in leadership, in nurse leadership. I think that's an amazing route to go, especially if you see yourself growing within or outside of your organization into supervisor, manager, director type roles. Get that MSN. There are tons of great programs out there. And then staying involved in conferences. I think you should go to a conference every 3 to 5 years. Most units have some sort of education fund based per nurse. Most places I've worked, it's divided every couple of years. So that's an opportunity. That's your opportunity to go and see what else is going on. I think it's so easy to kind of get stuck in our little place, especially if you only work one place. I worked in one hospital for 13 years straight, right? I thought we did Everything great. I actually think the first time my eyes were open was when we had travelers for the first time, and they came in and kind of said like, "Oh, have you done this? Have you done that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like yes, there are different ways to do this." So going to conferences is an amazing opportunity. There are a lot of great ones coming up this fall. Ann is coming up. NANN is coming. I will be at the NANN conference. I'll be presenting at the NANN conference. So if you want to come, I will be there. But yeah, think about what you can do. Even reading, if you join NANN, or I believe Ann, but definitely NANN, I'm a member at NANN, you get a monthly publication, right? Advances in Neonatal Care, the ANC. You can read that. And that's just like giving you more fuel. I remember one of my friends from nursing school published in there. Her name's Lisa. She's amazing. Amazing. Not me, different Lisa. Well, how cool is that I got to open this up and see her in there? So there are so many things you can continue to do, even if you cannot take on more responsibilities. And I think that that's really important, right? We want to grow, but you got to do it at your own pace. We want bedside nurses. We want bedside nurses out there working every day. I am so proud of every single one of you that wants to continue a career as a bedside nurse. But reading an article a month, going to a workshop, doing little things to just advance your career and advance your knowledge, going to a conference every 5 years if you can, if that works for your family and for your job. Even there's local conferences often. So often PQCs will put on conferences. There was a Missouri, I live in Missouri, there's a Missouri PQC did a conference. It doesn't always involve like a big travel day or a 5-day conference. It could be a 1-day conference. Back in when I worked out in Seattle, they had a pharmacology neonatal pharmacology conference. I remember going there with my friend LT. Shout out to him if he's watching. But there's lots of conferences that you can go to and participate. So, but if you want to keep growing, find clinical leadership, advancing patient care. What can we do to help these babies? How can we coach new nurses? How can we build the nurses around us that we want to work with, right? And that's by being welcoming and embracing and saying like, how can we make this place better for all of us? Having good decision making, being involved in quality improvement. I've seen the badges that say, because we've always done it with a big X through it. And that was a big part. 21 years ago when I started, this is embarrassing, but the internet wasn't really even that big of a deal. I paper charted. I've told you that before. So just keep in mind that we know so much more now, and there's so many opportunities to investigate what is the best right thing for our patients. So keep that in mind. Be a part of quality improvement. Work on your communication, collaborate with families and your care team, and constantly seek opportunities for professional development. I know you can do it. So our career growth isn't a checklist, right? It's a path that you have to do for yourself, shaped by your goals, your values, whether you're growing in your role, if you're looking for a new role, if you're really building that foundation and really trying to figure out how is this going to work best for me over time, that could take you more than a year, and that's okay. That's your pace. If you feel stuck, reach out to me. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Look into conferences, look into certifications. As you may or may not know, I'm going to start hosting webinars in August. And in August, they're going to be free. They're going to be great. Join us. Learn a little bit more from someone else. I hope you can be there. I'm excited. I'm excited to see you there. Send me an email if you have any questions about that. Find me on social media. But there's an opportunity for every single person to grow in the NICU, even if it's just a little bit every single month. I will see you in August. Remember, I will not see you next week, but I'll see you in August, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.